Former President Trump's tax returns will soon be made public. The House Ways and Means Committee voting yesterday to release 6 years of his returns. Reporter Peter Maxwell has been live from the scene all morning for us. And Peter, I understand you just learned some new information. Students at Oakland University are renewing calls for better campus security. This is in response to the mass shooting at Michigan State back in February. Calls pouring into our newsroom last night with reports of what's called thunder snow. Take a look. Pretty wild to see. This is video from 12 Mile in Rochester and Royal Oak. According to experts at NOAA, this cross between a thunderstorm and winter weather is only seen in the strongest winter storms. It's going to be maybe a rough morning for some of us. We appreciate you being here. Now, I did not stay up late enough last night to catch many of those ads. Kevin, did you catch any of them or any of the game? Faraz, did I just hear you sign me up to learn how to snowboard? That's all you, my friend. I will come and cheer you on. That is all you. I'm not really sure what it is, other than my attempt at something. This is my attempt. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like.
Now, is it supposed to be in the shape of the tree from the start, or do you cut it into
You're
a tree?
supposed to cut it and then twist it as it bakes.
Now, did you twist it?
Okay.
I mean, did it look like I twisted it? All right, I'm going to tell you how hot I think
Watch out for that toothpick.
Okay. Oh. It's there.
Yeah.
They tell us this fire behind me has been burning for several hours, and when you hear the crackle of wood, which I can hear right now, that really makes sense. We have seen handfuls of counter-protesters here this afternoon, but as you can see, the vast majority of the people here are with this pro-Trump rally. It could have been so much worse. We are grateful that those firefighters, several of them released from the hospital already, they're expected to make a full recovery. So that's the good news. Take a look at this scene. This is what's left of that vacant home. Now, I've been looking this morning to see if I can find in the crowd that electric monster truck. I can't really tell which one it is, but wow, it's going to be a show. Dixon has stopped short of saying that she would absolutely respect the results of this election. We have not heard her formally concede yet. Well, after 3 days on the run, a robbery suspect from Macomb Township is in police custody this morning. Investigators say they caught up with 18-year-old Jacob Edwards yesterday in Illinois. The teen is accused of robbing a Huntington bank in New Baltimore Tuesday. Just hours after that alleged robbery, Edwards, who was believed to be armed, was caught on Stephen Noyes' home Ring camera. Noyes has 5 daughters, and it was clear the person on his security camera wasn't one of them. They searched the area, but Edwards was nowhere to be found. Police say he was spotted 2 days later in Indiana, where he allegedly assaulted a person and stole their truck. He was arrested yesterday in Illinois, police say, in that stolen truck. The teenager was reportedly shot by a deputy during a confrontation. He's expected to survive. A man wanted for killing a woman from Plymouth has been found dead about 150 miles away. 59-year-old Michael Elinsky was found dead in Clare Friday. Police believe he shot himself. Elinsky was a suspect in the murder of 50-year-old Andrea Grant. She was found shot to death in her car Thursday in a Pittsfield Township parking lot. Neighbors tell us the two were romantically linked. The DOJ is conducting a criminal investigation at the Abbott formula plant in Sturgis, Michigan. You may remember that plant was shut down last year for several months over concerns about contamination. It triggered a national formula shortage for Similac. A company spokesperson says Abbott is aware of this investigation and is cooperating. The plant restarted production in August. Right now, there are limited details about what specifically is being looked at as part of this probe. Be sure to stay with 7 Action News as we learn more. Macomb County Prosecutor Peter Lucido is responding after heavy criticism surrounding a social media post. That post commemorating Robert E. Lee's birthday. Lee was a Confederate general who fought in support of slavery during the Civil War. Lucido declined to speak with us when we reached out. He later sent us a statement saying his communications director made the post and that a new review process is in place to prevent such insensitive posts in the future. An assistant football coach at the University of Michigan is out of a job this morning. Co-offensive coordinator Matt Weiss was fired amid a police investigation. He was initially placed on leave Tuesday as news broke of an investigation into alleged computer access crimes at Schembechler Hall last month. U of M's athletic director calls the termination a personnel matter and says they're not going to comment any further. Weiss issued a statement saying he has nothing but respect for the university and looks forward to putting this matter behind him. A much disputed Van Gogh painting that we've been talking about for days now. It's at the center of an international controversy. Well, it will stay put at the DIA, at least for the next 2 days. A federal judge dismissing the lawsuit regarding this painting here. It's called The Novel Reader. It's been on loan to the DIA for a special Van Gogh exhibition, which runs until tomorrow. A Brazilian art dealer has claimed he is the rightful owner, having purchased the piece 6 years ago for nearly $4 million. He claims a third party took off with it, and now he wants it back. The judge ruled in favor of the DIA, stating a federal law protects the painting from seizure. The Michigan Science Center is closed for routine maintenance right now, but when it reopens in less than 2 weeks, it'll have several new and refreshed exhibits. 7 Action News reporter Faraz Javed has been hanging at the Science Center all morning for us. He's live once again to show us some of the fun you can have that's also educational. Faraz, looking forward to this.
For now, it's back to you.
Always such a great time. What better way to learn about Michigan weather than doing it hands-on? Also still to come, hailed a hero. Police are thanking a Walmart employee for her quick thinking during a shooting in the store, how she was able to get everyone to safety. Plus, the High Court is under scrutiny this morning. A look at a new report that's shedding more light on that leaked draft opinion of Roe versus Wade. What we're learning next. The winter storm has arrived with wind, snow, and ice. It's making a mess out there on the roads and quickly picking up steam. The wind, the snow, and the roads out there really feel like an ice rink as you step outside. Let's get you ready for all of it. It's going to be a busy day in the weather department. We're going to send things over to 7 First Alert meteorologist Hallie Vogel.
And we will be with you all day, even.
All right, Hallie, thank you for the heads up. Taking a live look now out at our roads. This is Schaefer just along the lodge from our live drive camera. You can see a little bit of falling snow. It's pretty light there, but that snow picking up on the roadways there, certainly slick out there. If you can avoid driving, be sure to do so. 7 Action News reporter Peter Maxwell joins us live now from Detroit Metro Airport. He's speaking with travelers. So Peter, are people still holding on to hope that they might be able to get out of here today? Well, this winter storm could not have come at a worse time for holiday travelers this weekend. And now they are scrambling for a place to stay as flight gets delayed and hotel rooms start selling out, which has already happened. Right now, Detroit Metro Airport's West End is all booked up. They don't have any rooms available. That left many with canceled flights forced to find other accommodations or even sleep on a bench. To avoid this, travel agents suggest having a backup plan in case you do get stranded at the airport. You really feel for those families. If you're heading to the airport today, be sure to get there, of course, with plenty of time, be early, and be proactive if you are worried about cancellations, because we keep seeing them roll in. Well, this storm is also forcing the cancellation of SMART bus routes around the city of Detroit. SMART says the following routes have been canceled. They're listed on your screen. It's 805 Grand River Park and Ride, 830 Downriver Park and Ride, and 851 West Bloomfield Park and Ride. The ride service says more cuts are expected and significant delays are anticipated too. Transit centers in downtown Detroit and Royal Oak will also be closed today through Monday for the holiday. And for the very latest on this storm, you can watch here on 7 Action News or, of course, on our website, WXYZ.com. Just scan this QR code right there on your screen using your phone's camera. That will take you right to our Winter Storm live blog. There you will see live interactive radar and up-to-the-minute updates throughout this powerful storm. And over in Westland, a 9-year-old boy is accused of cutting a classmate during an altercation at a school bus stop. Investigators say he pulled out a small pocket knife and hurt another student yesterday morning. The victim was then taken to the hospital with injuries to the hand and the knee. Both students attend Schweitzer Elementary School. The student, the 9-year-old suspect, was taken into police custody to the police department. The case is now being referred to the Wayne County Juvenile Division. Hallie, thank you. Time now is 5:40. An important recall.
A popular weighted blanket is no longer being sold at Target. What parents who have this blanket should be on the lookout for.
Taking extra safety measures, the plan Apple plans to roll out to prevent stalking with its AirTag technology. We'll have the details next. You're watching 7 Action News this morning. The lightness this morning, Allie, is giving us just a clearer picture of how strong that storm system was last night. We looked on the map. We are here on South Grove, just off Lakeshore Drive, technically within Frenchtown Township, but we're not far from downtown Monroe. We showed you this scene earlier this morning, this crushed mailbox due to all these tree limbs down. And despite the mess, this actually is showing cleanup progress because all of this used to be in the street. And once we arrived here, it had already been moved. You can see that massive tree, and we looked at it. That's actually a healthy tree. That is not a dead tree. So a healthy tree ripped from its roots because of those strong wind gusts. Alicia, you mentioned the National Weather Service confirming a tornado touched down in Frenchtown Township. They will have crews here surveying the damage later this morning, so we're expecting to learn a lot more about what happened here last night later today. We did hear from residents. Action News was on the ground here shortly after that massive storm hit this area. This is what they had to say.
Well, the power lines got ripped off the house, tree on the roof, trees everywhere.
We're just thankful everybody's okay, and it's life. It's unpredictable.
That's right. We are so grateful that everyone is okay. At the top of the hour, we showed you a massive tree behind me here that had toppled onto a roof, seeming to crack this home in half. So seeing the damage that we're seeing, it really is amazing that no one was hurt. We just spoke to a gentleman a couple moments ago who said he was really heartened at how quickly neighbors sprung into action to help each other. We're seeing evidence of chainsaws being taken out to cut some of these massive branches in half to make the cleanup effort a little easier. So folks here are up early, coming together to try to deal with the aftermath of this storm. Power outages, that's still a problem. We're hearing generators. No timeline yet on when this power could be restored, but folks here are going to have a busy day of cleanup, that's for sure. We're live here in Frenchtown Township. I'm Jenn Schanz for 7 Action News.
Great reporting, Jen.
On a sunny day with clear skies, George Sini, who runs GT's charter service, took us out on the Detroit River. He's been in business since 2007, but in the past few years, despite a bit of a lull during the pandemic, he's been booking up real fast.
Pretty much every day.
You're bringing people out here every day?
Yeah, especially during April and May, pretty much every day.
And it's not just Metro Detroiters. George leads charters for people from around the Midwest and beyond, something that years ago he didn't see.
I have people come from Texas, Arizona, they come fish the Detroit River.
Which is visibly getting cleaner after decades of legacy pollution. What do you notice about how the river has changed?
The clarity, how clean the water is getting for sure.
We learned last year the Detroit River is one of a handful of local waterways getting an extra federal boost in its cleanup efforts through the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative. According to the EPA, $400 million will be spent on the river over the next several years. The Michigan DNR just updated its walleye population for Lake Erie, this year rivaling numbers from the mid-'80s.
Roughly about 10% of those fish we can expect to head up the Detroit River over the next 2 months.
That means not only promising tourism for the area, but more licenses, which helps fund the bulk of the DNR's programs, says Lake Erie Basin Coordinator Jim Francis.
It helps our bottom line too.
This year's impressive fishery will be on full display this weekend at the Michigan Walleye Trail that's happening at Lake Erie Metro Park. One of the largest walleye tournaments on the Great Lakes, one George has competed in before. This year, he's a spectator, which is what I thought I'd be on his boat, prepared to sit back and enjoy a day on the water, just learning about walleye. And then this happened.
There it is.
Oh my gosh!
No
way!
Got him.
George! Just under 15 inches long.
Look at that.
We threw it back to swim another day. There's still work to be done on these waters, years in fact. But from regulars to the Detroit River,
Catch has been really good.
to people like Donovan Huber, who drove from Algonac to fish here for the first time.
First launch of the season, we're excited to get out on the Detroit River because normally the walleye is running good up here.
There's plenty to look forward to. How does it make you feel seeing the changes that we've seen in our waterways?
Great. I feel great about what's going on here in the Detroit River. It is just it's amazing fishery. There you go.
I'm Jenn Schanz for 7 Action News.